At this time, I'd like to introduce our past Salespersons of the Year, otherwise known as SPOYs. And first up, a big warm round of applause for Rosa Harrington. Our SPOY, our spouse of Al Harrington from 1982. Welcome, Rosa. Ten years later, we honored Mr. Walter Dodds. Welcome, Walter Dodds. Thank you so much for being here this year. Next up, in 1996, Mr. Crazy Shirts himself, Rick Ralston. Following Rick, Mr. L&L Drive-In, 2006, Mr. Eddie Flores. And it wouldn't be a SPOY without our fair mayor from 2010, our SPOY of 2010, Mayor Rick Blangiardi. Thank you for being here, Mayor. Then, from Scheidler College of Business in 2015, Dean Vance Rowley. And finally, our final SPOY of the year, former mayor and wonderful guy, all-around guy, Mr. Mufi Hanneman. And we're going to round out these introductions of our SPOY honorees with the 2024 Salesperson of the Year honoree, Mr. Peter Savio. And if you don't already know Peter, you're going to get to know him really very, very well this evening. Good evening. You have all been watching these beautiful videos by Ian Fernandez of our past SPOYs. This event has been going on right here in Waikiki since 1957, honoring some of the greatest, most distinguished business leaders and leaders of all kinds of Hawaii since 1957. The list of all those honorees is in your program. Good evening. My name is Janet Kelly. I am the current Sales and Marketing Executives of Honolulu President, and I'm honored to be here to welcome you, and I want to thank you so much for all being here this evening. I'm going to introduce our past president of 4 times over, Mr. David Livingston, who will be your master of ceremonies for this evening. Please welcome Dave. Give me a kiss.
Thank you, Dave. Great job. Janet and I have been doing this way too long. So fortunately, we've got some new members on our committee and our board of directors that will take our place in the upcoming years. But this is the most fun we have every year. And seeing our friends, our past SPOY, our past presidents, our members, this is always a great event. We appreciate all of you for coming here tonight. You could all do something else, but Peter really deserved this, and we appreciate you being here to celebrate him. What I'd like to do right now is introduce our kahu, Kealunikona Bishaw, and Kealikona is kind enough to do this tonight for us. Thank you very much for coming, sir. Appreciate it. The pule is going to take about an hour and a half, so just enjoy your.
Well, God says one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day. So I'm just going to take 1 second out of that. E komo mai o ko me ko mako aloha mahana. I ko mako ina ke o Hawaii nei, aloha I ka poe. Lahauli kanani mai na mauna I ke kai. We welcome everyone here to Hawaii nei, this beautiful place, a land loved by its people. The beauty of Hawaii, stretching from the mountains to the sea, is always enhanced with your presence here today. We're here to honor the past and the present salesperson of the year. So hepule kako, let us begin with a blessing. Mahalo no mako he aku no kolonae, no kamea o ke akua ke li kahonua. Heavenly Father, we thank you that we can gather beneath you, the God that created the heavens and the earth, and you have created this beautiful place, Hawaii nei, for us to live, to work, and enjoy each other, to grow and to prosper and to be blessed. And so, Father, we ask for your blessing on tonight's festivities and all that is going to be spoken. And for each and every one that's here, we ask that you would touch them and grant them grace, wisdom, and peace. And if you can, I would like all of you just to put out your hands like this. Ka malamalama o ke akua, e ho'opuni mai ia o kou. May the light of God fall upon you and enfold you. Ke aloha o ke akua, e ki puni mai ia o kou. May the love of God surround you. Ka mana o ke akua, e ho'opakele mai ia o kou. May the power and the strength of God be with you. Ke alo o ke akua, e malama ia o kou. May the presence of God continue to be with all of you. And may He confirm and establish the work of your hands and the blessing of God upon each and every one of you. Amen. But a special blessing for Peter. You know your name's in the Bible, right, Peter? Yeah. And that Peter, he was a businessman too. He had a fishing business. It was called Simon Peter's Fishing Shop. And this other guy came along one day, and a carpenter came and talked to him about having another business. And he says, if you follow me, I'll make you fishers of men. That's the name that you have, Peter. And you grew up in Hilo, born in Hilo? Yeah, my mom's from Hilo too, the Victor family. But just a special blessing on our honoree. Which means may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make His face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May He lift up His countenance to you and grant you peace, prosperity, long life, all the days of your life. Amen. Have a wonderful evening. Mahalo for having me. Thank you. Aloha.
Thank you, Kau. The gentleman that I'm about to introduce needs no introduction. Back in 2010, he was our salesperson of the year for what he did in a really struggling media industry, radio. Turn that around, doing the same thing with our city. I'd like to introduce Mayor Rick Blangiardi. Rick promises to end this speech by 8 o'clock, so.
Good evening, everybody, and aloha. It says in the program less than 5 minutes. I'll even be maybe briefer than that. First of all, thank you all for coming here tonight. I'm honored to be here. And I'm here tonight not so much as a past recipient of SPOI, although I have sponsored and been to this event for many years. I've been inspired by the people who've won before me as I look at Walter Dodds over there and Rick Ralston and some of the people when I was just in the audience thinking, wow. But I'm here tonight as mayor to recognize Peter Savio on behalf of the people of the city and county, the residents of our islands and elsewhere. You know, as a member of past ward, you come in and they ask you to sign the border of a picture that we just took that will be framed appropriately, and each of us makes little comments. And it was very easy, top of mind for me, with Peter, as I wrote to, a real visionary and leader for Hawaii. Now, because we don't get much space, I had to stop there. But I started thinking what are the adjectives I would use to describe Peter? And clearly, the next one would be absolutely brilliant, because I think he's a brilliant man. And I think what I'd probably also would say stubborn. Strong-minded would be a nicer way of saying it. I know the Savio brothers are in the room. Phyllis is in the room, his wife. You know what I'm saying. Just my brief encounters with the guy, but that's part of what makes him great, because he stands by the courage of his convictions. He writes books about it. He knows what he's talking about. And probably the other thing I would say about Peter, and probably why we're all here and why he's being recognized, is because he has a big heart. I've seen firsthand his compassion, and clearly he is so focused on what I consider to be, we just did a show last night on PBS with the other mayors on Island Insights talking about how each of us perceives the greatest challenge. And there are a lot of them, but clearly housing and the need to create affordable housing to keep people here, not have them give up because the math doesn't work anymore. Anybody that's helping us do that, I have love and respect for, I promise you that. So I just thought in closing here, I would tell you an anecdote, because the story I'm about to tell you actually makes me think of Peter and how he goes about things, because I've been on panels with him, I've sat in the audience, I've actually paid money to hear this guy speak in the past. So years ago, when I was a young guy, I used to drive down Kahala Ave on occasion, and there used to be, coming off the ocean side, Mackay side, was this beautiful Rolls Royce, but not a fancy kind of LA kind of Rolls. It was just classy. And it was a very dignified guy behind the wheel of that car, because I sat, not dignified like Walter Dodds, but a really dignified guy. And I would get behind this guy's car and just try to think, wow, you know, this guy obviously made it big. He's living on the ocean here in Kahala. He's driving this incredible car. But the thing about his car was, I know my Boston accent's coming out, 60 years in Hawaii this week, and I still sound like I fell off a fruit truck in the Bronx. I'm sorry. But this car, his, and the thing about it was, he had a vanity plate. And the vanity plate was really simple. It was 4 letters, IDEA, I-D-E-A. And I used to sit there and say, behind the wheel, boy, I wish I could talk to this guy. I wonder what his idea was, because obviously he made bank on it. He did really well. So one day, I had my 2 boys when they were really young. I was taking them to the Yum Yum Tree up at the Kahala Mall, back when, you know, it's where Chili's is now for the younger people in the audience. And there he was. There was the car parked, and there he was walking to his car. In those years, I was too stupid to be afraid. So I just take my 2 boys, run up to him and say, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. But I've been behind your car many times, and it's really caused me to wonder, you know, could you tell me, what was your idea? What? He looked at me in a very paternal way, not pejorative at all. He says, "Well, tell you what, son, I'm not going to tell you what my idea is, but I'm going to tell you that the world pays off on ideas. Go out and get yourself one." Okay? And that was a great lesson. And I share that with you because I think Peter Savio is a man of great ideas. I think he defines intellectual capital. Okay? And we are so blessed and fortunate to have amongst us a guy like Peter Savio. So I'm just here tonight, Peter, to say congratulations. I've got to run. My wife is holding down the fort. It's something that they booked me for, but I wanted to be here. I wanted to, because I know Peter doesn't think I like him as much as I like him. I want him to know this publicly. I have great respect for what he does and who he is, okay? So with all of that, enjoy the evening. God bless you all. Thank you.
You know, I was at a military function about 4 months ago, and 4-star Admiral Sam Paparo was at the podium, and he said, without Mayor Blangiardi present, we have the finest mayor in the country right here in Hawaii. You don't get many compliments from 4-star admirals. That was pretty incredible. We've got some special people tonight that we want to introduce. And when I call your name, if you would stand up, that would be really great. We've got some past presidents here. Kaylee E. Gray. By the way, we can't see anything up here. The lights are right in her eyes. Kaylee, would you please stand up and remain standing? Is she outside? Oh, there she is in the back. All right. David Hayter. Remain standing. Janet Kelly. Lee Collins. Lee, where are you? There's Lee. Michael Troy. And Robin Kennedy. Give them a round of applause. This event was built on their shoulders. Thank you all for coming tonight. We really appreciate you being here. Without the next group of people that I'm going to read off, actually companies, we wouldn't have an event tonight. These are the sponsors of the event tonight. So to start off with, Association Hawaii, Pacific Impact Zone, the Republican Party, Ola Souza, Suzuki and Gu, William Gu. These folks paid for ads in the brochure that you have tonight. Without that ad income, we couldn't have printed the brochure. Thank you all very much. Our bronze tables, Monamines, Janet Kelly. Savio Realty. Via Business Consulting. Leadership Institute. Pacific Historic Parts. Thanks you again, Lee. Title Guarantee of Hawaii. UH Manoa Scheidler College of Business. By the way, one of your volunteer students called me last night. They got off the phone after about a half hour of me talking to them about what was happening here tonight. That young lady was very impressed. St. Louis School, class of 66. Attorney Jim Stone. Thank you, Jim. Member of SME and always a big supporter. KMH LLP. The Savio Project Manager, Ohana. CMK Incorporated. And iHeartMedia. Thank you again for all those bronze sponsors. By the way, all their logos are right over there. Thank you for the Monamine staff for putting all that together. They did all the design and all the work behind this, and first class all the way. The silver sponsors, Savio Group of Companies. Thank you again, Peter. Ameriprise Financial. My partner in crime, Chad Adams, is the guy behind that. Chun Kerr LLP. Star O'Toole, Marcus, and Fisher. Insurance Associates. Stellant. And Pacific Business News. Thank you all very much. We appreciate you so much. We put all those logos twice in the brochure on your desk, twice. We had an extra page, so we put them in there again. But thank you. We appreciate your support. These events couldn't take place, and we couldn't honor people like Peter Savio if it weren't for the supporters out there. Speaking of which, This is off script, Janet. I told you I wasn't going to do this, but I have to do this. Would all the relatives of Peter Savio please stand up? The relatives of Peter Savio, please stand up. There's a gene pool there, folks. Thank you all for coming to support this wonderful man. Appreciate it. I'm going to introduce our Sales and Marketing Executive, Honolulu Education Chair, Sam Frenzelbeim, to discuss how the proceeds of our SPOI events benefit UH Scheidler College of Business. Sam, come on up. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. It's great to see everyone this evening, and thanks for that lovely pronunciation, Dave. I know that Frenzelbeim name is a bit of a handful. Sam is easy if you just see me later on. But good evening and aloha. I mean, it's wonderful to have everyone in a place like this. The energy of a room like this, celebrating this type of moment is a real opportunity to take advantage of, and I'm just very excited to be here. But while we're here to celebrate tonight Peter Savio for all he has accomplished, what I believe we're really celebrating here is something even more profound: the opportunity to redefine what is possible. We've heard about some of that already tonight with simply the idea of the idea. That makes tonight as much about the future as it is about the past. Peter, your achievements aren't just accomplishments. They are an illumination of what is possible. And I think that's something that we can all take away from this evening, is that we might see things a little differently because maybe you've pushed us in that direction. As we honor your work and legacy, I also want to take a moment to reflect on what truly drives SME Honolulu forward: our unwavering commitment to education and nurturing the next generation of business leaders right here in Hawaii. I want to specifically recognize the University of Hawaii's Scheidler College of Business. I've had the good fortune to connect with Jennifer Liu, the Director of Development, and Daniela Miller, Danny, if you're here, the Development Coordinator over at Scheidler, and it's exciting to hear about the work they're doing and really about the opportunities they are creating for students. We know the institution isn't just an educational facility, it's a pipeline for Hawaii's business future. And when we support UH students, we're ensuring that these islands have the skilled and passionate and purpose-filled professionals needed to drive this economy forward. And our sales and marketing executives' Honolulu Memorial Scholarship in honor of Stephanie Lee Ueda represents more than financial assistance. It represents our belief in the potential of every student who walks through Scheidler's doors. These aren't just scholarships, they're investments in the future. I did not have the chance to meet Stephanie Lee Ueda. I know some of you have known her. I have seen the name itself bring tears to the eyes of the people I've talked to. And I know she served here over 10 years as the executive director. But what I've heard is that Stephanie wasn't just an administrator or an executive director, and if there's family here, I hope you hear this. She was considered the soul of SME. Her passion for education and mentoring young professionals was infectious. Dave Livingston here, our past president, described her in what seems incredibly fitting given today's chaotic world. She was a great coach and a calm voice. And those calm voices these days are really invaluable. And she also knew the key to success: make every program better than the year before. It's really simple advice, but it's often hard to do. In other words, let's redefine what's possible. Stephanie also understood something even more deeply fundamental about the education part: that investing in education isn't just really about individual success. When it comes together, it's really about strengthening an entire community. Her spirit lives on in everything we do, particularly our commitment to the Scheidler College of Business and the students there and the students that are here tonight. I hope you hear all of this and take all of this in and meet everyone you can this evening. The students we support today through our scholarship programs are really tomorrow's Peter Savios. They're tomorrow's community builders, they're tomorrow's innovators, and there's tomorrow's civic leaders. But also I'd like to talk about our commitment beyond scholarships. We talked about the education and entrepreneurship chair that I'm leading, And we've established this really to support not just students, but also founders, and make sure that we're really supporting small businesses throughout the community. And as chair of this community, we as a group, and I specifically, I really want to do my best to honor Stephanie's vision of mentorship and practical support, creating pathways not just for students, but really opportunities for entrepreneurs and businesses at every stage of their journey. And business is a journey. You will need people along the way. You will meet people along the way. And if you're in this room and on that journey, there are people around here who can help you and support you. Lastly, I've been talking to business leaders recently here on Island, and I've been hearing a word we all know quite well. Many will know it better than I, but it's simply the word kuleana. The idea of responsibility, the idea of privilege, concern for others. And as business leaders tonight, we're here gathered really to make a lasting and positive effort on our families, on our friends and colleagues, on our communities, and really, in the end, on the beautiful place that we call home. So just as Peter Savia has transformed communities through his vision and dedication, I think we can help transform lives through education. It's a core component of what we believe at SME. So with that, I encourage each of you here this evening to consider how you can contribute to that mission, whether through the Stephanie Lee Ueda Memorial Scholarship Fund, mentoring opportunities, or simply by coming to SME and sharing your expertise and information with the next generation of leaders and students. Because when we invest in education, we honor Stephanie's memory, we follow Peter's example of community impact and making a difference, and we ensure that SME Honolulu continues to be a driving force for excellence in Hawaii and its business and community for generations to come. So aloha nui loa. Thank you very much this evening. Enjoy the evening. Thank you, David. Thank you. Appreciate
it. Yeah. 29 years ago, Stephanie Ueda ran the orientation for new SME members. I was a new SME member that year. 10 years later, she was our executive director after being carefully trained by Roberta Cullen on how to run a nonprofit organization. And she served us over 2 decades as a volunteer and as an executive director. And she went away one weekend to a symposium in California and passed away in her sleep from a heart attack. Every day is precious. We never quite got over her leaving us. And we remember her every year at this event. And we remember her through our dollars. And we have now permanently endowed the Stephanie Ueda Scholarship Fund at UH. And thanks to you, that happened. Vance, Raleigh, and crew are here tonight. We asked them to give this speech originally, and they said it would be more appropriate coming from the SME members. And you know, that was a great idea, and I'm glad that Sam pulled that off. He's the genius behind everything new we're doing in sales and marketing executives. And we appreciate you very much, Sam. So what I'd like to do right now is give everybody a break so you can eat your dinner, and I'll be back in about 30 minutes to start the presentation. Thank you very much. You guys are having a lot of fun out there, and that's really what this event is all about. But what we'd like to do right now is recognize some more people that are pretty important to this group. Your program brochure, if you get to the middle section, of the program brochure, you're going to see some really good-looking people in there, except my picture. I'd like to introduce a board of directors of sales and marketing executives. So when I say your name, if you'd stand and remain standing, please. Janet Kelly, President. Mari Villa, Secretary and Treasurer. Chad Adams, Membership Chair. Stand up, Chad. Richard Sheffer is not here. He's our IT guy, and he lives in Sacramento and didn't fly in for the dinner. I don't know why, but that is Janet's son, Richie. Anna Covert, Website Master. Stand up, Anna. Sam Frenzelbeim, Education Chair. You've already heard from Sam. Thank you, Sam. And Pauline Panano, our Executive Director. We also have in the room tonight, who retired from the board, Robin Kennedy, our most immediate past president. Robin, I know you're out there. Thank you for coming tonight. And we had some help. That board of directors was the committee to run this. And in addition to that, we had our past executive director, Naomi Kana. Naomi, please stand up. Adele Tasaka. And Malia from the Pacific Historic Sites. Thank you all for helping with this event tonight. It's great to see you. What I'd like to do right now is begin our SPOI presentation. A video that was produced in the last 2 days. The person that did all the videotaping left for vacation, went to Europe, and couldn't find any Wi-Fi back there, believe it or not, so she could finish this. So she got back 3 days ago and produced it in 1 day. Rachel Rosales, if you would wave. What an outstanding job this young lady continues to do for us. Thank you, Rachel. By the way, that's my niece. With that, let's play the video.
The Salesperson of the Year, or SPOI, is an annual tradition. Since 1957, sales and marketing executives of Honolulu have presented the SPOI Award to recognize individuals whose work has enriched the quality of life in Hawaii and uplifted the image of our islands. This award is carefully chosen to recognize a trailblazer whose tenacity, commitment, talent, and dedication makes a lasting impact on our community.
I think most people know, but if you don't know, Peter has one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen. Second, and most importantly, for me, at least, Peter's a man of his word. When he's committed to something, he follows through. And he doesn't do it because of money or power or anything else. And so Peter gives a lot.
So as Peter's accountant, it is a bit frustrating in how he looks at some deals. Peter, you need to make money. You need to be profitable. You can't give it all away. He's extremely generous to a fault. So Peter, please, a little bit of profit would be good.
He's a good businessman. He's innovative. He comes up with some crazy ideas sometimes, and sometimes I think he's too optimistic about what it's going to result in, but he has done some very wonderful things for people in general. Peter has a very intense career. So the way he relaxes, he goes out to his Waikiki caves, and he has a Hawaiian forest there that he literally has been working on for 15 years. It's all Hawaiian plants. He digs in the dirt and is filthy at the end of the day, but that is his passion, to work in his forest with Hawaiian plants only. Peter is a very shy person, and I met his wife before she was his wife. I knew her. And I said, you know, Phyllis, I have a brother. He's not gorgeous, but he's a good person, and I'd like to introduce you to him. And she said, okay. So I told Peter and Phyllis about each other, and a couple weeks later she calls and says, he hasn't called me. I said, okay, I'll fix this. So I arranged their first date. And here we are, 50 some odd years later. They're still married with 3 kids, and that's how Peter is, kind of shy.
So Peter, obviously very well-known real estate professional, successful business person, but in reality, he's not the boss. The real boss is Phyllis. So when it came to creating or building a relationship with the Savio organization, my focus was on Phyllis. Well, she's obviously listening to this, so Phyllis, you're still the boss.
Peter's really a great guy, and I think what most people don't know is he's really got a light side to him. He's not one of these type of people who get in your face. He's got this uncanny ability to just kind of ease everybody when when things are getting a little tense and they're a little tight. And he just has that knack about him. He's got a great character, and I love Peter for that. I love his heart, I love his character, and I just love who he is. He's just Peter Savio. No more, no less.
Well, for those that know Peter, I think everyone realizes that he's been in the real estate business for as long as I can remember. Actually, I have this artifact from 1987 when I graduated college, before they had, obviously, cameras. Believe it or not, this is Peter Savio when he was recognized as the Entrepreneur of the Year. It's actually a very interesting article because what they talk about here is still what he's doing now. He's focusing on trying to help local residents own their own property, their own homes.
I think he has changed the real estate industry by making it affordable for all types of people, whether you're single, mom with 2 kids, married with, or a doctor, whatever.
Peter's probably the most creative real estate professional I've ever met, but not all deals work. But he will never, ever just give up on any opportunity. Sometimes it's a little frustrating because he gets into things that probably he shouldn't, but he is the consummate optimist.
Peter's not one of the, I guess you could say, most organized people around. In fact, Peter is one of these type of people who will, what do you say, let it be and just kind of, just let things fly as they may.
Peter's actually dyslexic. If you can imagine, he's been writing several books, and I've been lucky enough to read some of them. And when you read something written by Peter, it's a very tough read. But you get the passion in what he's writing. But he's been working on these for years. So it's not like I gave him the idea. But if anything, I gave him the push because I kept telling him, you're getting kind of old, dude. You gotta get this done. We need this in writing. Your creativity is something, you're so unique. Get it in writing. So, Peter, thank you for writing all the books.
In his projects, and in particular, I'll talk about Ioana Farm Parcels. This is a project that is so needed in this community. It's really a farm condo, but the concept behind of it that makes it so attractive, besides the 2-acre lots that a lot of small farmers need and want in the state of Hawaii, is his commitment to providing affordable housing for the people of Hawaii. And so he has a concept called the Plantation Camp. And if that goes through, this will be groundbreaking. It'll not only help the people on Oahu, but throughout the state. And so, that is just one example what Peter has done. In addition to all the other countless amount of developments that he's had in the past, has helped people to afford a home and to now live in a home and to generate wealth for themselves and their families. But also he gives back just to the community in general. And I think the biggest thing he's giving back right now is trying to help the leaders of Hawaii find that solution for affordable housing. I ran for governor 3 times, and Peter was a big part of my policy team in regards to housing. Sat down and spoke with Peter on many occasions and did a lot of conferences and a lot of presentations with Peter on affordable housing.
When you look back at what he has done with farmlanding and getting people to buy, actually own a farm, people doing solar, people doing, whether it's converting to caves, he's very innovative on his ideas. His goal is to make sure everybody who wants to stay in Hawaii can afford to stay in Hawaii, and he knows that if he can get them to buy a home, a condo, a piece of property, they will stay, and then the next generation can stay. And that's the only way we're going to make Hawaiians stay in Hawaii. So I think that's really what he is all about him, and that is why I think he deserves this award.
Congratulations, Peter Savio, for being the recipient of the 2024 Salesperson of the Year Award.
I'd like to invite Peter Savio to come up to the stage. If Janet Kelly, our president, would come up. Kaylee E. Gray, if you'd come up as well. We have a gift for you. We have a special gift for Peter. Anybody who's been to his office knows he loves piggy banks. So we had a Koa piggy bank made for him. And that Koa piggy bank taken care of by Kaylee. Kaylee, would you like to say a couple words about what you have to go through to get a piggy bank made out of Koa? No, isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Peter. Janet Kelly would like to say a couple words.
I just have to say that I've worked in this town for 40 years in the sales and marketing industry, and Peter is the most deserving of this award. He is a client, he is a friend, he is humble, and he is one of Hawaii's greatest leaders that I have ever had the pleasure of working with, and I just want to personally say congratulations. Your turn. Your turn.
So now it's my turn. First, I want you to know how important this is to me. I bought a new Aloha shirt, and it is not Ren's, and it does not have a pocket, so I couldn't have my cell phone. I shined my shoes, and I'm wearing socks. I haven't done that in 30 years, all in one time. When they announced or when they came to see me about the award, I didn't quite understand what it was. And I thought they were there selling me a table at the event. And I don't do tables at events. And so I kept on saying, well, that's nice, but I'm not interested. We kind of missed through the whole presentation. And finally they said, Peter, you won the award. I'm like, what? Who did that? I do not like being acknowledged. My sister talks about me being shy. I'm extremely, extremely shy. And people find that hard because if you come to a class I'm teaching or something on real estate, I'm all full balls ahead kind of guy, just charge in. But anything else, I'm lost. I started in real estate when I was about 8 years old, helping my mother. The only thing I understood was real estate. I bought my first property when I was 15. I bought a number of properties after that as a teenager. Real estate was important. Now, like all good events, we have to have a commercial. I have 2 commercials for tonight. One is on every table, there's a centerpiece. I made all of those so they wouldn't have to spend the money to buy it, so they'd have more money to donate to the scholarship fund. Those are available to whoever's going to get them. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but if you get it, rule number 1, do not put it on the seat of the car, because the seat will bounce. And when you get home, everything will have bounced out of the container. So you put it on the floor of the car. The other thing you need to know is these plants should last 5, 10, 15 years. All you have to do is take care of them. They like to be sung to in Hawaiian. They prefer slow music to radical music. But the real secret is, remember this, 18 hours of fluorescent light is equal to 8 hours of sunlight. So if you're putting it in a bathroom or an office and it doesn't have a lot of light, just leave a light on and the plant will thrive or should thrive. I have to warn you, when you water it, do not water, if you have one that has sand, do not water the sand. It will flow away. water the gravel. The ones with the sand tend to be in very thin plates. So if you're watering the gravel, you got to kind of tip the plate and take a few minutes and keep on pouring water so it sips through. These are designed to hold moisture. So you only have to water once a week, and it should thrive. So that's the commercial on the plant. The other commercial is about the books. I also gave all of you 2 books. Part of that is I'm very guilty or feel guilty about winning this and having had people pay money to come, so I felt I had to give you something in return. But you also have a homework assignment. You have to read the books. The important book to read is Hawaii Housing Solution. This identifies what we're doing wrong with affordable housing, and it gives us a path forward to solve our housing crisis. So this book you want to read. The other book, Real Estate Generational Wealth, is a regular textbook about real estate, but it's looking at real estate differently, and the 12 wealth creators I talk about will come up in the third book, which will give us the solution to housing. And I wanted to give you a little inducement to read the book so you can see where I'm going with it. So I'm going to give one quick example. I took a house that cost $1 million, and the monthly payment was $6,400 a month. I then applied one of my solutions, and I was able to reduce that payment by $2,500. I then added a second recommendation, and I was able to reduce the payment by $1,000. I then added another solution, and I was able to reduce it by an additional $756. I added a fourth one, and I reduced it by $583. We took the $6,400 payment and brought it down to $1,561. We could sell that $1 million house today to one of our workers for under $2,000 a month, and they can afford to buy. We're not changing the price of the house, we're changing the monthly cost to buy it. And that is the solution. Everyone in Hawaii should be able to buy a home and own a home. And there's no excuse not to do it. We've just missed the boat. We talk about the Singapore solution, and they talk about leasehold, and they talk about all of the other things. Singapore's solution was very simple. Get rid of landlords. You don't build rental buildings. Rental buildings make landlords wealthy and renters poor. Yet our city and state is building nothing but rental buildings, which is going to steal our wealth. We need to convince our mayor and our governor to stop the steal. Those buildings must be tenant-owned, owned by our people, and all of that wealth stays here. Singapore's solution was ownership for everyone. Singapore got their solution here in Hawaii. They incorporated and succeeded. We took the same information and we crashed and burned because we didn't hold true. Again, I encourage you to read the book on real estate wealth, and I encourage you to read the one that's going to come out, I hope, by the end of September, which will outline how to keep housing affordable. Now we can end the commercial and go back to programming. This is where I've already panicked Shannon and Dave because they said, Peter, don't talk about real estate. You're way too passionate. And I could go on for hours and hours, and they were afraid I would, but I kept it as a commercial, so it's not too long. But I also was really puzzled with how to accept this award. My staff, I'm sure, is thrilled to death to see me squirming, because I do not accept praise well. I don't know what it is about my personality, but I just cannot handle people telling me what a good job I'm doing or how wonderful I am. It just rubs me the wrong way. I'd rather you were mad at me and told me what I'm doing wrong, because I can handle that. When I was a child in Hilo, the Chinese community gave me a name. And I'd forgotten about it till I was there on my honeymoon. And a woman there came up and asked me if I was Peter Savio, and I said yes. She said something in Chinese. I didn't have a clue what she meant. And she was explaining, as a child, you were such an exceptional baby that the Chinese community gave you a name. You never cried. No matter what was happening, you were in church and it was hot and every baby was yelling and screaming and you were sitting there smiling. So they gave me this name and I said, well, could you translate what the name is? Because I don't speak Chinese. And being Chinese, I was assuming it'd be something like great dragon or wonderful ruler. And she says, oh, it was happy, wide, white noodle. In other words, I was short, fat, and happy. And to this day, when people ask me how I'm feeling, I always say short, fat, and happy. And everybody jokes, but they don't realize it goes back to what it was as a child. The woman went on to explain how I never got upset as a child, never angry, never cried. And my wife, who was my bride at that point, said, you know, that's him. He never gets mad. He's very calm and he's very understanding. And that's just my personality. So Janet wanted me to say something about thanking everyone and all of the great things you do. And I said, Janet, I don't know how to do it. So she wrote a speech for me. And I was going to read the speech, but then I feel guilty. So all I want to say is, I really do appreciate the award. I didn't realize how important it was. I didn't realize the prestige that went with it when they first announced it, because I was not familiar with it other than seeing it, maybe a picture in the newspaper or something like that. And I realized it really is one of the top awards a business person in Honolulu can receive. So I am humbled by the receipt of it, and I am going to learn to accept it and be proud of it. I'm going to support them going forward, which probably means I'm going to date all the plants next year too, save them some more money. I know I'm going to end up getting shot for this, but I really do appreciate it. I really am not the person who deserves the credit, though. It's my team. It's my sales agents. It's my developers in training, my attorney, my due diligence team. I do nothing. I really don't. I was teaching at the university, and a student asked me, what is it like to be a developer? And I thought for a moment, and I said, you know when a gentleman or a man is leading an orchestra? That's what the developer does. He leads the orchestra. But I says, the difference is, if it's a band, he has to know music. He has to read the music. He has to understand everything else. A developer, we don't need to know anything. We just have to make sure we hire a good attorney, a good architect, a good engineer, a good sales team, and they do their thing. And that really defines me, because that's all I do, which is really nothing. But I get all the credit, which is kind of nice. But I really do appreciate it. It's given me, I think, a platform in which I can support my housing program. I'm 77 years old, and Ross was right. My runway's getting shorter and shorter. I've been trying to get my solution for housing used for the last 70 years. Hasn't worked. I went out in the 80s and started my affordable housing program for the sole purpose of proving to the city and the state it can be done. And I did it without any government help. I came up with prices as low as 30% of median income. I helped people that nobody else could help, but nobody paid attention. The government didn't seem to care. They were busy with other things. So the solution has been here since 1980. We don't have a lot of time left. If you read the book about housing and you read the one that comes out with the solution, I will lay out exactly what we have to do to build a home so everyone in our community, everyone who moved to the mainland, everyone who is in Hawaiian homes can buy real estate. The only thing stopping us is our own lack of will. It can be done. It will be done. I need your help. I want you to read the third book. Comes out in September. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate the honor. I hope I'll do it well going forward. And aloha. I gotta stay up.
Not only did Peter create the beautiful Native Hawaiian and the cactus centerpieces, he purchased like 900 books just to give to you. And he was a #1 Amazon bestseller for his first book before he made those 900 book purchases. The books are amazing. The beautiful centerpieces are amazing. And Peter, you are amazing. Oh, one more thing.
I'm not Portuguese, but you'd think so. My wife's Portuguese, so I get it by marriage, I guess. I did sign each of the books. I don't know what it is, but people think you should sign the books. I never was excited about it, but I actually sat down and signed every single book. There's a message in it, so I don't know. It's a collector's item. It's probably worth $5 more than it was before I signed it.
We have a couple more fun things this evening. We're going to get you out of here on time as promised. One of our SPOI volunteers got missed in Mahalo, and that is my dear friend, Catherine Dory. Catherine was a SPOI volunteer for the last 2 months, and we wanted to make sure that you were mahaloed too. Also, is it your birthday this month? If you're sitting at a table and it's your birthday this month, or your birthday is closest to today, August 15th, so you all need to talk amongst each other and figure out whose birthday is closest to today, you get to take home that centerpiece. And don't forget the books, because you probably put them on the floor because you couldn't eat your dinner without moving your books. So don't forget your books. And whoever's birthday it is gets to take the centerpieces. Okay, and Peter has one more thing.
Remember, the homework assignment is to read the book. So I'm going to call you randomly to make sure you have a report that outlines what the book is about. And that's for the mayor. Him and I are really good friends, but he hasn't read the book. And he keeps on making the same mistake over and over again. Mayor, read the damn book.
And one more thing that I forgot, because I'm not a professional spokesperson. We have about 25 elected officials here today. Many of them are going to be coming on stage now, presenting Peter with a special thing. But also my dear friend, City Council member Bernard Carvalho flew all the way over here from Kauai to personally mahalo Peter for all the work he has done. Stand up, Bernard. Thank you so much, Bernard, and I hope you don't miss your flight home. I'm turning it back to our MC, Dave Livingston.
Okay, I want to invite up to the stage State Senate Minority Leader Brenton Ava State Senate Minority Floor Leader Samantha DeCourt, State House Minority Leader Lauren Matsumoto, who, by the way, not too long ago was one of our PSE students. When SME would meet here, she all growed up. I don't know what happened. And our State House Minority Floor Leader, Diamond Garcia. Who's speaking? All right.
Don't mind the slippers. Peter was dressing so sharp, he told me I can come like this. I see one of our mayors left already. The other one left early. I tell a couple jokes real quick, but the other one left early, probably because he knew I was going to get up here and question why Peter Savio is not our housing coordinator for this city. I tell you what, Peter, if one of us is mayor or governor one day, you're in that position. Why don't you not just run for governor, by the way? Thank you. Thank you for all you've done.
Peter, thank you so much for all you do for the state. I have to say, I've had the honor of hearing Peter share his thoughts in the Housing Committee over the years. And one of the things I truly appreciate, not many people when they come up to testimony, to tell their testimony, say exactly what they're thinking and tell the legislators exactly what we're doing wrong, but Peter does. And we need that, right? That's something we really need at the legislature. But what I appreciate most, Peter, is the amount of time that you take with each and every one of us, the amount of hours he spent going over all of his ideas for home ownership, and really watching that go into action. So congratulations, Peter. I can't think of anybody more deserving.
Congratulations, Peter. You know, my district that I represent is the Waianae Coast, and we have the largest Native Hawaiian homestead population in the state. And Peter has been so instrumental in helping Hawaiians get onto the land and into their homes. So, Peter, on behalf of our Lahui, on behalf of our beneficiaries and the waitlisters, and just being able to prioritize our people and to make sure that we preserve our culture for generations to come. Thank you so much for the passion that you lead with, making sure that Native Hawaiians are not forgotten, that we're able to live here in our home here in Hawaii, and moving to the continent is definitely not an option, because it's important that we follow through with the legacy of Prince Jonah Kuhio, whom he said, in order for the Native Hawaiians to be rehabilitated, they have to stay on the soil, and that is Hawaii soil. And I applaud you and commend you for the work that you have done for the Native Hawaiian community. We mahalo you, we appreciate you, and I will definitely be giving a book to everybody that has their hands in making sure that Native Hawaiians stay here in Hawaii. So mahalo and aloha.
I want to echo all that was said this evening. Peter, thank you so much. And I think I could speak for the late Representative Gene Ward, who was a good friend of yours. And we spent hours and hours talking about this very thing, housing, Hawaii's affordable housing crisis. So thank you, Peter, for being a champion over the years. So on behalf of the Hawaii State Legislature, we'd like to present you with this certificate commending and congratulating Peter Savio, Sales and Marketing Executives of Honolulu, Salesperson of the Year. Whereas in recognition of his vision, leadership, and decades of achievement in creating pathways to affordable home ownership and preserving opportunities for Hawaii's local families, Peter Savio is awarded the prestigious 2024 Salesperson of the Year by SME Honolulu, the organization's highest honor, celebrating individuals who have strengthened Hawaii's communities and enhanced the quality of life for its residents. Now, therefore, the 33rd legislature of our state hereby commends and congratulates Peter Savio for his extraordinary achievements, his steadfast commitment to affordable housing and agricultural opportunity, and tireless dedication to ensuring that Hawaii's families can continue to work, live, and thrive in the place they call home. And we extend to him our warmest aloha and best wishes for continued success, signed by members of our legislature. Peter, congratulations.
While we're shooting that picture, and please don't go anywhere, I would like all of our elected officials in the audience to please come up and join us on the stage for a picture with Peter, and all those past elected officials sitting over there on the Republican Party table, if you would all join us right now. Come on up. We're going to get a group shot. I can't tell you how much I appreciate people that run for office that put up with what you have to put up with to be a community leader. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your willingness to do what needs to be done to make this a better community. Come on up, elected officials. Just gather together for a photo. Just scoot in there, man. All right.
We have one more coming. He's walking. While we're waiting, right? Is he coming? Oh, Lynn. Former Lieutenant Governor Duke Iona, are you still in the house?
Duke Iona. Duke, get up here, buddy.
Is Moofy still here, Robin? Any other former elected officials or elected officials? Okay. This is going to be a classic picture. One more thing. We have extra plants. See these beautiful plants? They are for sale at about 1/3 the price you would pay at Watanabe Floral or any of those places. See me in the foyer, in the lobby, to be able to bring one of these plants home tonight if your birthday wasn't lucky enough.
Oh, no. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Let's give them all a round of applause. This is a great group. I love people that don't just sit around and complain about things, but actually get things done. And the folks on the stage today literally put their names on the line to make this a better community, and we appreciate it. There's another group that if it weren't for them, none of us would have the freedoms that we have today. Coming up this year is the 250th anniversary of the Navy. And on September 2nd is the 80th anniversary of World War II. I would like all the veterans in the room, but please stand up and enjoy our applause. Thank you for your service. All veterans, please stand up. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have two choices right now. You can go outside and wait in line for your car for an hour and a half, or you can hang around in here with some of the greatest people in the world and get to know them a little bit better. Thank you all very much for coming. Safe drive home. Thanks.